Hey, good morning, my peeps. I have a very interesting story that I want to share with you today. I have been contemplating for a long time now whether or not I should share these stories, and it is mostly based on the fact of of my religious persuasion because I'm a Christian, but it does not negate the facts of what I want to share. It's just that sometimes when you share these things, I don't want to promote negative energy, but is just, my sharing it here on this platform is just to make people aware because a lot of people don't believe, and I don't know if this will even help them to acknowledge. But some people don't believe in the existence of shadow people or ghosts, as we call them. I'm from Jamaica, rural Jamaica, and that's where I grew up. And I lived until I migrated to the United States. I was watching on another channel the other day, and I saw where this mother and son, they're from St. Thomas, and she's sharing her experiences with audience about the same thing, about experiences with ghosts and whatever. And I'm like, hey, my kids have been saying to me all along, Mom, you have had these experiences. Why don't you share them? And I've been struggling with it because I don't know if it was something that I wanted to do, but I have decided that I'm going to share the experience. Now, I have had so many experiences that it is like I don't need anyone to tell me that is real. I know it is real because it's my experience. I know what I've seen, and I was sometimes in the company of other people when I've seen it. There are some that I won't share because it doesn't, it includes other people and it's sensitive, but I'm going to share those that relates to just me and my immediate family. Now, I realized that I had this gift from I was like, say, 3 years old, but it started out first as dreams. I would go to bed at night. I grew up in rural Jamaica, I think I said that. Myself and my two brothers and the older cousin grew up together with my grandparents in rural Jamaica, Portland to be exact. And sorry if I'm repeating myself. But as a little girl growing up, I realized that I had this ability to see shadow people or spirits or ghosts, as we call them in Jamaica. But of all of us children, I was the only one who could see it. And because of that, I was very terrified. But my grandfather, thank God, he had the same ability. So he was the one who taught me how to deal with this experience that I was having and not to be afraid. He instructed me on the things to do and not to do whenever I would see these things, what to say or not to say to be safe, to keep myself safe. So just thinking about it makes my I get goosebumps just talking about it because it actually started when I was like 3 years old. I remember as at nights I would go to bed and I would have these terrifying dreams. There would always be this strange looking man in a tree, in a particular tree at the back of the house. Now there were many trees out there, but there was this particular tree that he would be in every night. I think it was a pocket tree, if I'm not mistaken. And that man would be sitting up in the tree, and he would be calling me. And I was so scared. I would just be screaming and screaming and screaming in my dream, and until somebody wake me up. But the funny thing is, I would go back to sleep the next night and it would be like the dream continues. Like it started from where we left off. The same man would be in the tree again, calling me and laughing. I would be crying and screaming, and he would just be laughing at the way I am scared. Like he enjoyed seeing me scared. It got to the point where my grandfather was so frustrated that he woke up after like the 100th time of me having this dream. He woke up the morning and he took his machete. This man, he was a farmer, so he had many machetes. He had like maybe 10 or 12 machetes at one time, different size and shape, and he would sharpen them real sharp. He would sit for almost an hour sharpening his machete. That was like his pastime. He would do it in like if he's gonna go work like on a Monday, Sunday evening, after he finishes dinner and he's ready, relaxing on the veranda, he sharpens his machetes because very early Monday morning he's going to his farm. And when he comes back in the evening, he would sharpen them again. He would say that a machete is always supposed to be sharp. You mustn't keep a dull machete. So he woke up this particular morning and he went around there and he chopped a tree down. And I was happy. And for about a good 6 months or so, I did not have the dream again. It happened that at the time we were building a new house. So we moved into the house, which was like just almost next door to this house because he had a lot of land. So we moved into a bigger house, into a new house, and I start having these strange experience again. Only this time it was not in a dream. I would have what you call sleep paralysis and night terrors. And this would continue. It would happen like 2, 3 times a night. I'd go to sleep, and at a particular time, it would seem as if something came in the house. Now, the minute that energy hits the house, if I'm in my deepest sleep, I wake up. I don't know if that thing was attracted to me while I woke up, but I could feel it. And I would wake up. I know I'm awake, but I can't talk. It's like I'm dumb. I'm trying to call to my cousins in the bed beside me, but I'm not able to call her. I'm not able to touch her. And we are in the bed together. And it's like my whole body, I have no control over my body. It's just there like something pinning me down, and I can't talk and I can't move. But this thing is moving in the room. So when it passes the bed, like I can feel the energy of it. When it passes to the top of the bed, till when it gets to the bottom of the bed, and like it is there looking at me, and I close my eyes. I don't know if I was even able to open my eyes or I closed my eyes out of fear. But this thing is walking in through our room to go into my grandparents' room. I don't know what is it about my grandparents' room. Well, at the time I didn't know It was later on that I found out who and what it was and why it was trying to go into my grandparents' room. But that's a story for another time. But that's going to be part two of the story. This is part one. So the minute it exits the house, I would know, and I would jump up out of the bed and started screaming, and I'd run into my grandparents' room and I would throw myself on my grandfather, and he would wake up and he'd be like, "What is wrong with you?" Because he was the gentler of the two. My grandma was strict and she was fierce. So you couldn't do that with her. She was very, in Jamaica, we say very cross, hungry, miserable. My grandfather, he was a gentle soul. You could tell him anything, he would listen to you. My grandmother, she was rough. She didn't have time for that. So maybe that's why I wouldn't run to her. She wouldn't be the first person I would run to. I ran to my grandfather and he'd be like, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?" And I said, "There's something in the house. There's something in the house." And I'd be like, "What?" And he sits up because he had the ability to see them too. He has had many encounters with them. He would tell us stories about them. He would teach us how to chase them if we ever come in contact with them, or how to protect ourselves from them. So I felt safer running to him. And he's like, where, what? And I would tell him, and he would get up and he would, whenever you wake that man up, the first thing he reaches for is his machete. He sleeps with his machete at the head of his bed and at the door to his bedroom. So he'd jump up and he'd pull his cutlass and he start to put his shoes on. And he's like, where is it? And but that spirit was afraid of him. But it would try to come and visit him at all time to taunt him. But whenever, or to get his attention, whenever he gets up, it's like the spirit enjoy the attention. Then he would chase it and try to harm it because the spirit was afraid of him, because it was somebody who he knew before they passed, and that spirit had unfinished business with him. So he would calm me down and said, never mind, go to sleep, I will deal with it. And he would curse expletive, because Jamaican people, we have curse words, and he would use some expletive and say, what's it not you come on me yard for? Me not tell us to not come on me yard. Me not have nothing to do with you. Go on your grave, because if you don't stop haunt me, I go and dig up your grave and take out your body and bunny. And he would make all these threats at this spirit. And then it would take me like, oh my God, I would be so afraid. No, I can't go to sleep. I'm like, is this thing coming to hurt me? But I was not, it wasn't interested in me. It's just that I had the ability, I could feel it and I could see it. At this time, I wasn't able to see it because it used to disguise itself from me, but I could feel the energy. Whenever those things come around me, their energy, I feel the energy even before I see them. But it did not want me to see it, so therefore it was able to hide from me, but I could feel the energy. So my grandfather would get real mad and he would curse and chase the spirit away. There was another encounter, but I'll tell you about this one in part. There were many more encounters. There was this one time I was supposed to go on holiday in Kingston, and that would be the first time I am seeing a ghost. But if you're enjoying this episode, if you enjoyed it, If you want to hear more about it, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share the post. And I'll see you in the next one. Jack Mandora, me not choose none. Bye-bye.